Alright, I wanted to just give you a quick little video here, just an overall tutorial on how I was looking to, how to color the edges, kind of where we're looking in regards to technique and, quality overall. So I'll just kind of do each piece here, show you how I've done them in the past. So I usually wear a glove on my left hand, so when I'm handling the piece, or whichever hand you use to color it, opposite of that to hold the piece, and then usually I'll just kind of grab and find that edge and hold it as close as I can to keep it steady. And then I usually use the side, the side here, just to glide across the edge right there. Just kind of, pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy, nothing too difficult. Just try not to, the biggest thing is to not go too far over on the front edge so you're seeing like a gleam, a line of extra shiny yellow or something coming over the front. That's what we don't want. So if you do use the side, use it to the front, like closest to the tip when coloring, so it avoids overlapping to the front. And then yeah, I mean, these usually take just a few seconds per, and then once you see that, just check the corners, make sure all the corners are taken care of. Everything looks pretty good there, so that's done. And then I'm going to provide all the markers will be in there for you to use. Right now, the only piece I'm looking at to not have to be colored that's in there is this piece, so you don't have to worry about coloring this one at all. So that will be the only piece in there not to be colored. Let's see, we're gonna move over to the zebra. So we're gonna do black marker here, and this one's just doing edges again. These are all edges, same technique, just running it across. And I think I'm going to get you a permanent marker, bigger permanent marker that will make it easy. You just glide, basically just one quick glide on each side. And we'll finish this one up here. All right, and then bottom. All right, so for that one. And then we have our little pieces here, which these, I'm only doing one side on each, and whichever side for these, usually if it has a little bit of a thicker white line, do the opposite side. So we're gonna do this will be considered the top. I wrote this little marker, same situation, we're just gonna, and we really wanna use the tip on this one because this marker is a little bit bigger, and so it's easier for that to bleed over. So we wanna make sure we're using more of the tip on this one to get in there. And so just once you find the rhythm, and like I said, I always hold closest to the part that I'm coloring to keep it from moving a lot. And there's going to be probably about 25 pieces for each individual in there to be completed. And then there's going to be a little bit more for these smaller pieces that I'll show you. That's pretty much what we're looking for right there. Just the top and the sides on this one. Same with this other one as well. Usually for any piece at this point, seeing a thicker white line in there, we're going to do the opposite of that. So we'll do the edges again here. Run on, and this one you have to make sure you get in that little crevice in the middle there, and just stick the little tip in the corner. And again, we just want to make sure we're keeping as much of the tip on the back side as we can, because especially with the pink and these other colors, you'll definitely start seeing the run coming over. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but you definitely want to make sure there's no marks on the front. And then we'll just finish this one. Do the edge, you don't have to do the bottom, we're just gonna do the edges. And these will be included in the set, so you have a reference point for those. And then now we'll move on to our Nickelodeon, which will rock out the orange. So this one, the top side of these are mostly gonna get filled, and there's going to be some bottom side edges that have a little extra white on them that you won't have to. And so it's kind of your own judgment type of situation. How much white is there? If it's not enough to be covered by the marker, then you don't have to worry about it. And like I said, we're just gonna, same thing, drag the edges, more of the tip along the edges, the top here. And we're just gonna go around. I'll do this one a little quicker than the other ones just because it takes a little bit, a few extra seconds. And then, see, this one has a little bit extra on the bottom here on the white, so I'm gonna leave this bottom going. Same with this one, see the edge on this one is a little bit extra. Sorry, the edge on this one is a little extra, so we're just gonna do the top side. And then we'll round out to the corner, like right to the front side, just a little bit. Whenever the white edge starts getting thicker, that's where you can end the marker, basically. Try to have a little bit of a transition, have a little bit of it come out, and then once it starts, the white line gets a little thicker, then you can trail off and be done with that. And so, like I say, just kind of go through and just do all the edges that will take on the full color, leave the ones that are a little thicker. Gives it a nice little contrast as well throughout the piece. And so we'll do this one. And if you have any questions or issues or marker runs out, you know, feel free to reach out to me. I can definitely resupply, get back going. All right, so we're almost done here. All right. All right, cool. So we'll call that a day on that one. And now we're gonna bust out these last few pieces. So we have our big banner. The markers I've had have always a little too dark and they bled over, so I've been using colored pencils for these. And what I've been doing, they already have a little, you can see the pencil has a little groove in it already. And I just find that little groove on the edge here, and I just hold closest to that so it stays pretty stable. And then I just, you know, just not too hard, but enough that, because if you push too hard, you'll start seeing a little bit of indentation on the top here. So you just kind of want to just go over it pretty smoothly. Just make sure you kind of go over, just kind of check the front, back, angle it to the back, angle it a little to the front, and you'll start seeing it fill in there. And it does not have to be 100%, but we just want to get enough that a lot of the white's not showing through. And like I said, just kind of hold it closest to the area you're coloring. And then you're gonna do, for this one, you're just gonna do the top and two sides. Since the bottom is not really exposed, we're not gonna worry about doing the bottom on this one. I have to excuse them, doing some trimming outside of the window here. So once you've done the top, the way I've done the side is I put my two fingers right here, and I just kind of go back and forth. Okay, you definitely want to be careful when picking it up too, because with opposite hand, because then fingerprints are pretty easily can get on these, and that's the worst case scenario. We don't want any fingerprints on these. But again, you know, you can do the sides. These corners are a little tough, so you don't have to kind of do a little, just to get these little corners. It can be a little stubborn. Get the middle, and then just kind of hit those corners. Same thing on this side. We'll go. And just as long as you can, you know, you see no white on the corners or on the edges, you should be solid there. So there's that one. We have our big blue banner, in which we have a lighter blue marker. This one, again, with the white edges being a little extra, don't worry about those. Just do the edges that are lined up. And we're gonna definitely make sure you're using the tip on this one to get on there. And again, I wouldn't push too hard, as you will start to see a little bleed. but the tip, you know, gliding on the absolute tip of the marker will have to be on the edge here, just to help avoid that bleed over. And again, just kind of using that light to make that reference, make sure there's no white coming through. That looks pretty good there. So then we're just gonna do the sides right here. All right, and then inside the boxes as well, where the line will allow. So just do right there, right there, one more here. So it looks like for the most, like usually 3 out of the 4 sides on these boxes can be taken care of. Alrighty. Alright, so that's it for that one. Again, you don't have to do just the top, side, and then the inside boxes there. Alright, hold on one second. Avoid that noise. So we're going to get the colored pencil back out again. We're going to use it on, actually, never mind, we're going to use on marker for this one. And we're just gonna do, we have the thicker line right here, so we're just gonna leave that side, and then we'll just do the edge here, that one, and then we'll run that edge there, and then the top. All right, and then that's and then got our black ones here. The black boxes, just coloring these edges. Pretty straightforward. And, yeah, and then let's check the corners, make sure nothing, no white's peeking out. It looks good there. And little green guy here. And some of these will have some edge, some of them won't. You just have to kind of gauge. This again has that little edge to it as well that will just kind of slide on in there, and just a little back and forth, a little light. Definitely want to go light, because if you push too hard, you'll start making indentions in the paper, and then that'll misshape it and won't be usable. So we want to just kind of a light fill, light shade. And then the bottom. All right, that's that for that one. And then lastly, we have our tiny little shapes here. Red squares, we have the squares, triangles, circles, and our red here. And then we're just gonna hold this, and these will have little edges on them too that the white side you won't have to do. Just find that one corner edge, and that's it. Done with that. So that's pretty much it regarding all the pieces that I'm looking to have done. Like I said, there are a number of each design. We have the markers here. Hopefully it should be enough. If it's not enough, let me know. Yeah, we'll hopefully see you soon, and thank you.